Hello everyone, this is David with the fish down in the basement. We've all got one of these tanks. I've got a couple of them. Wow, there's actually a fish in there. We've got plenty of algae, duckweed heaven, water levels low. Can't really tell what's going on in this tank other than do we throw it away or destroy it, or what do we do? Well, I'm going to go over how I would clean one like this, and amazingly by the time we get to the end, this is going to be a fine looking aquarium. So this is David with a fish, and let me get the tripod set up and show you how we're going to do it. Now this tank doesn't look too bad. This is not the one we're going to be cleaning, but you can see my sword plant here spun off all these little babies, so we'll be pulling them off at some point. And these are a bunch of crypts that were originally in those little gel pack things. So, you know, I can't have a decent looking aquarium. But the one down below here is the one we're going to be working on. Now the first tools is we're going to need some tubing. And this tubing had to have a little piece of an adapter put on it. And I take one of these pumps, fit that little adapter piece on, got a little guard so we don't snatch up any fish, and then what we're going to do is drop this in, and we don't want it all the way to the bottom because there's at least one fish in there, maybe more. And then, unless you want a truly huge mess, make sure you put a clamp on the other end of that tubing. And then we're going to plug it in, because somehow or other we got to get rid of most of that water. So we'll turn that on. And my garbage can here on rollers. You can probably hear it. It'll start sucking that water out. And we're going to want to get this down pretty low, because this is a 20 long, and I'm going to have to pick it up for us to finish cleaning it. Alright, we've drained the water down now to just an inch or so. There's one fish at least. And as we get in here, we can look and see. Oh boy. I guess I should see if that heater's still plugged in. I've got a couple of filters, and I can tell by the smell that there's some good cyano bacteria going, algae in here. So we'll get set up and we'll start taking this thing apart. Alright, now at this point we got to start taking things out. You're going to need some containers. You're going to need a container here to hold filters. Pop off the tubing. There's one filter out. These things are a pain getting tubing off with one hand. There we go. There's two very full, very tired, very stuffed filters. Now we want to go for at least some of the plants. Another stuff in here. This tank's been featured in several different videos for breeding German blue rams. I've had them breed at both ends with a whole lot of plants in the middle. And that's probably how I'm going to set it back up again, because that's been a way that worked. Boy, is that a tired Anubias or what? Look at that. Oh, that's rough. That's a poor plant. A piece of driftwood with a bunch of plants growing on it. It's usually that driftwood is usually the root seems to be where the algae and the cyanobacteria come from. Another big old piece. That wood came from Lake Lanier. Water Sprite. Java moss on a piece of wood, I mean a rock. And these plants will get cleaned outside with a bleach soak. Roughly 10% bleach, regular water. Let them soak for the anubias and stuff can probably go 10-15 minutes. Water sprites will be a shorter period. I have more water sprite though, so I may just toss that and not try and salvage any of it. And poor guy, somewhere in here there's a fish. At least one. There he is. Boy, it's a really nice one too. Now comes the hard part for an old guy. You gotta get this tank out of here so we can actually clean them. I don't remember if it'll angle up this way or not, but we're going to try. Slide out and set it down and pull it to the center. And now we got something we can work with. Now we've got all kinds of different grades of disgustingness on the side of this tank. Usually when there's a lot of duckweed like this, I'll start with a credit card or a room key card or one of them hard plastic things and use it to get the first stages off. Quite often I do this outside, except unfortunately right now it's raining outside. So the task gets started, but it's going to have to get started inside. Use the credit card, see what all you can get rid of. At least that'll kind of narrow it down to where you can see just how bad it is, because if the credit card doesn't get it, it's going to be some scraping. The Cyano comes off pretty good with a credit card. And if you don't know if you have that in your tank or not, you'll know the smell. You smell that once, you won't ever forget it. It's a sicky, seaweedy, disgusting smell. So that probably does it for the credit card. Now you'll find your next tool is one of these scrubby pads. And it's not bad. Elbow grease. But as you can see here on this really nasty stuff, it doesn't do much. And once again, it's a question of whittling down the problem. it is amazingly starting to look a little better. But now for what is really your tool. It's the razor blade. These fit up. Case cutters, packing slip cutters. I get a box at Home Depot or Lowe's, 100 of them. I bought it years and years ago because it was 100 of them. But what you'll find with these is that they will just go right through this stuff. They will scrape that stuff off that nothing gets off. You'll learn kind of the angle to hold it. That'll be the right angle, that it doesn't snag up on the glass, doesn't cut you, and does remove the nasties. So we're coming along pretty well here. I'm going to lower this way down so I can show you this one side that's really bad so you can see how well this razor blade works. Now you can pretty well see. Dip it in some water, get your angle, and away you go. Now remember, we've done this with a credit card already and the scrubby pad, and it stayed on. So now with the razor blade, you want to be careful at the edges because it'll peel silicone just as quickly as it peels algae. Sometimes the best thing for the silicone is your finger. So you're going to come up high on here and get that stuff right here at the top. What I want to do at this stage is there's more water in here than I can carry out without taking a chance on hurting myself. So somewhere in here I got a hole. See if we can find it. Figures it's on the exact opposite side. I'll slide around here. Oh, got a hole. I got a funnel, and I gotta get rid of some of this water. With the sand in it, there's no way I can carry this outside. What I'm gonna do is take this outside so I can rinse it with the water hose, and then I'm gonna put a bunch of bleach in it. Let it soak with the bleach for a half hour, and it's amazing how that will knock back that bacteria. This garbage can that I use for water, one of the really nice things about it is it's on rollers, so I can roll this to the back door. Much easier than trying to carry it through the house. I'll also put in the filter parts and a lot of other stuff inside here with the bleach. Get them all clean at the same time. If you don't bleach at all, the algae and the cyanobacteria will just get put right back in the tank again. That is not what you want. Alright, I got the plants all soaked, cleaned up, bleached, rinsed. Got some water on them so they don't go bad. But now let me show you. Check out the tank. Check that out. What do you think about that? No algae spots, no blemishes. It doesn't stink anymore. This is nice. All I got to do now is get the water back in it. And I really wish I had a snazzy way to show you doing that. It doesn't involve a jug that holds 1.5 gallons of water. So, about the only thing more boring than filling a tank by a jug is watching someone fill a tank by a jug. So we'll be back when we get some water in this puppy. I have to tell you, I apologize. I didn't get to show you how I got this tank this clean. I took it outside, put in, this is a 20 long, I put in about 1/2 gallon of Clorox bleach, filled it up full of water and let it sit for like 30 minutes. I was going to show you setting all that up, but the rain, boy, was it raining outside. So, as soon as I get a little more water in this tank, I'm going to go upstairs and get into some dry clothes. But trust me, that's about all you do, is you fill the thing up, put in a whole bunch of bleach, let it soak for a half hour, and then you just rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse, trying to get all that bleach back out. But as the bleach and all that mess goes out, you'll see all the algae, the cyanobacteria, all that garbagey stuff goes right out with the rest of it. I put a smaller amount in a sweater box with the plants and poured out just gobs of algae and stuff off of them. So they're looking a whole lot better too. So we'll have this tank up and running here in a little while. I'm going to add some more water, then I'm going to go get some dry clothes. Okay, here's all my plants all soaked out. This is what I use in my filters. This comes in a big roll sheet that you get on eBay. You get, this is the inch. I would prefer to get the 2-inch, but I couldn't find it. It'll come in a 10-foot, 20-foot length. You just cut what you want. I cut a couple of squares, then I cut a groove in the middle, and a groove in the middle. So then, when I take my filter, put the tube down in there, add some rocks, and in goes my filter material. Just lightly get it all shoved in there. See if I get lucky and this one fits. I got a 50-50 chance. And I got lucky. I'm going to take the other one. Put rocks in it for weight. Takes my another one of my cut pieces. These can be taken outside, hosed off. They come clean very quickly, very easily. You can use them until they get so disgusting that you don't want to get near them anymore. So, cram it all down in there. There's my filters ready to go in. There's my 2 spawning plates ready. Man, remember how bad those look? Wow, spotless. Alright, let's change over to where the aquarium is. Alright, now the first thing to do, get a little bit of sand spread out. We'll take that same credit card that we were using. Toss this around. Doesn't have to be neat because the fish are going to move it the way they want it anyway. But it's kind of sort of all over the place now. Then, let's see, this is 1 tube for a filter. So, and in it goes. I put them in each corner because I don't know any better. That's what you always did, because box filters were square, so they fit perfectly in the corner. Of course, these are round and I don't have any round, so I have air. Yeah, it's got air. Alright, here goes the other one. Into the other corner. And we want them pumping pretty good. Now, next step. Since I'm going to set this up like I've done it before, and I'm going to set it up to have one pair of German blue rams down there, one pair of German blue rams right there. Now, to prevent the warfare and the deaths and the fighting and the destruction and the killing, we've got to build a wall so that only with luck and effort do they see each other. Oop, I came off my little arc there. Let's see. There we go. There's another one. And we have this big old monstrosity. See, so we'll put this little water sprite here. I'll put these down here. What we've created now is we got filtration on both ends, so we got water movement on both ends. We've got a breeding space for the German blue rams there, a breeding space for them there, and we have in the middle a bunch of plants that says you can't really see me. And we want just a small amount of space where they can see each other, because that then will become the little area that they argue about, and they'll end up dancing back and forth right here and not bothering each other because they're too busy. See, that's my space, that's my space, so they'll argue right here. You get two spawns, they don't kill each other, life is good. If I had enough room to have a bazillion 20 longs, I'd have one pair per tank, but I don't. So I'll set two pairs up, and most of the time I can get them both to spawn. Now I got to get the top on and get the light on, and I'm going to have to move around some to do that. So we'll be back when I get that part done. And here's our cleaned up tank. Got a heater in, getting it up to about 82 degrees. There's our filter spawning area. Here's the plants dividing things out, and here's the other spawning area. Our one fish is back in there. I'm going to let this run overnight, let the temperature come up, let the water get crystal clear, and then I'll pick the other fish to go in here to start developing up our two pairs. Took a couple hours, got soaked in the rain, but this tank has been nicely rejuvenated. This is the next morning. Had the filters running all night, cleaning the thing up. Check it out. Temperature is 82 degrees. This tank is ready to get a load of German blue rams. See if we can get a pair to spawn there and a pair to spawn there. But that all selection process will be a separate video. Right now I just wanted to show you the end result of that disgusting tank we started with yesterday and how really nice it looks today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.